second-time founder as opposed to first-time founder are very different things. You know a lot more that I don't know. A good way of putting it is you probably forgot more than I have learned to begin with, right? Hopefully that makes sense. But what have you learned as a second-time founder which you would teach, younger version of Roei? What do you wish you could share, knowledge, advice, wisdom to your earlier self?
Yeah, great question, and of course, still learning as much as I can every day, right? Yeah. It's a lifelong journey to continue to learn. I think we're really fortunate to have amazing conversations like this. We can learn from each other. Yeah. I think the biggest thing that I found as a second-time founder, and I wish I realized this as a first-time founder, is basically everything is downstream from lead gen. If you can generate leads, you can generate revenue. If you can generate revenue, then you can have the time and space required to fix all of the inevitable problems that will occur in your business. People have this idea of like, we're gonna launch, we're gonna get to product market fit. It's like, okay, a handful of companies get to product market fit at that sort of pace. Product market fit is a multi-year, battle between startup or between product and market, where they're hammering away at each other until they find something. And the only way to have multiple goes at hammering your product at the market is to have lead gen. Because without that process, you're never going to get to PMF. So everything is downstream from lead gen. And I think that's probably, if you can nail that, your business will be successful.
I'm really glad that you gave that as an answer. I had this exact same conversation with Harry Stebbings recently. And the point of the conclusion of our talk was that if you want to build a business, do not spend a ton of money building out a product or a platform or on marketing or on sponsorships or whatever. First, find out a way to reliably collect email addresses from people. And you're giving them something, whether that's a blog or a report or a book or a video or a course or a podcast or a tool or whatever, right? A glass of water, right? If that's what your business is and you can give them a sample of that for free in exchange for an email, you've got interested people in theory. You get enough of them and then you've got buyers, right?
100%.
And a business without sales, without revenue, it's not a business.
It's not a business.
A lot of the people on your platform raising a lot of money, they might think that's the goal, right? I've raised a lot of money, I'm a successful entrepreneur. No. Can you actually sell a product, sell a service, and make a margin and scale that through people, through systems, through technology? Are we speaking the same language here?
Yeah, 100%. I think you put that perfectly. And for me, one of the strongest signs of conviction that I can have to invest in a pre-seed company is, what does the wait list look like? This idea of, until we raise, we can't get traction. Your ability to get that wait list together and hack that at the early stage, that's going to be your hustle to show that you can make things happen. So I think that's totally correct. And you're right on the raising thing. Your goal as a business should be to be a profitable business which matches your level of ambition as a founder. Investment might be a right way to get there, but it might not be, and it's certainly not an end. It's a means to an end, and as I said, it might not be the right means to the end, depending on the type of business that you have. I think that's another thing I wish I knew as a first-time founder is the less you can raise, and again, it depends on what you're trying to achieve, but the less you can raise, the better. If you're able to achieve the same goals with less capital and focus more on revenue, it's going to be much better for you as a founder, because then also, and we're in this position with Connected now, when we look at fundraising, we know that we can probably do 30-40% of our funding activities in debt, because we're a really revenue generating company, and therefore dilution is much more minimized than if you're a company just burning tons and tons of cash without really focusing on revenue in that way.
And if you really believe in the business, then why would you want to give part of it away or sell off part of it if you could just raise the money and have to just pay back a loan or something later, right?
100%. And also I think, to your point completely there, the reality of liquidation preferences and preference shares means that taking on venture capital will ensure that you have a very, very different outcome to not taking that type of capital. The outcome could be incredibly positive, but it means that unless it's a home run, you're pretty much going to walk away with nothing as a founder.